Сегодня мы с вами окажемся в историческом месте, которое называется Бостонское чаепитие. Здесь 16 декабря 1773 года произошло историческое событие, когда американские колонисты столкнулись с британским правительством. Они протестовали против чайного закона. И, можно сказать, с этого момента началась, так скажем, американская революция. Вот это место. Мне нельзя было снимать в самом музее, но я сняла кое-что снаружи. Или включайте переводчики, да, или читайте мои субтитры. В общем, будет очень интересно. Бостонское чаепитие нас ждет. Приключения.
Meeting are called upon to meet over in the East Meeting House, where we shall discuss the fate of that pernicious weed.
Hey guys. That's what I was doing when you yelled at me to read them. Welcome to the meeting, my friends.
Thank you.
Yet another one of these town meetings! The 19th, in fact! In a row! For hours and hours! Day after day! Luckily for us, this is the last chance we have to get the tea sent back to London where it belongs. So we've sent Francis Roach, the owner of the ship Dartmouth, off to the town of Milton, about an 8-mile journey from here, to receive word from our cowardly governor on whether or not the tea will actually be returned in the morning. Now, they've given Francis Roach 1 hour to achieve this task. He's been gone 5 hours. He should be back any minute now. While we wait his return, I would like to get to know all of you a bit better. But before we can do that, I have 2 speaking roles for tonight's meeting. If anyone is interested in participating. Excellent, sir. You'll be Mr. Thomas Porter. During the meeting, Mr. Adams will ask for your opinion on the Stamp Act. You can remain seated or you can stand. Just reading that one sentence there. I have 1 more. This is a bit harder. Excellent. It's 2 sentences. Can you handle that, sir? Okay. So you'll be Mr. James Brewer. During the meeting, Mr. Adams will ask for your opinion on the town's affairs. You can remain seated if you rise, and then it's just reading off those 2 sentences on that. Excellent. Now, the rest of you all will be receiving your new colonial identities. These are non-speaking roles, but they are equally as important, for you see, none of you lived here 249 years ago. If you did, well, pretty good for your age. This is also my favorite part, because I get to talk with all of you. So, where are we traveling from today? Here. So why are you here? Okay, but you do realize Philadelphia is having its own tea crisis at the moment. You probably lose your health very little closer. Outside of the cross your mind. Okay. Well, that's okay. Woo! Thank you for all your help. Now, Mr. Molyneux, you tend to pick fights with Mr. Adams, who's usually in charge of these meetings. You see, I have to defend Mr. Adams. He's second cousin to my cousin-in-law. Makes him family. But we know you're really pulling the strings, so it's good to have you. Now, where are we traveling from? What's that? Let's go far. Oh, okay. Interesting. So, you must be in the Spanish territories. Not many gold yet. What about you? That's definitely Spanish. So let's see. I think Yes. Mr. Benjamin Eames, the editor of the Boston Gazette, one of the most influential papers here in town. You actually just placed an ad in your paper for my warehouses and my businesses. Thank you, sir. And then next to you, we have Mr. Robert Davis, your grocer over in the North End, sir, responsible for getting fresh produce into the city. Now, you live on Orange Street, yet you do not sell oranges. Bad marketing. So maybe Mr. Eads will be able to help. No. And where are we traveling from? Okay, more Spaniards. So let's see. Yes. Mr. John Trader, strongest of the Sons of Liberty. Yes. So you, sir, are going to be very useful in case goes south tonight. But if that's the case, you should probably open the dock around him. Now, where are we traveling from?
Colorado.
What's that?
Colorado.
State.
Nowadays. Yeah, no, it's all.
There's no states in America. It's just colonies. I think we have the Pitts brothers here, Lendl and Samuel, part of a prestigious military organization known as Hancock's Cadets. It's very prestigious, you see, because Mr. Hancock has money. But that's all right. You're doing better than Mr. Grant. He got kicked out a couple years ago. So good on you, and we're probably going to need your expertise later tonight. All right.
Okay.
And where are we traveling from?
Ireland.
Oh, good. So you hate it. And what about us? Begin this meeting. Oh, excellent. Well, friends, we have some very unfortunate news. You see, Francis Rose has not returned. But don't worry, we have equally fortunate news. You see, I never leave the meeting. You're welcome. But before we begin, brief word on your safety.
Ladies and gentlemen, and patriots from around the world, on behalf of the cast and crew, Historic Tours of America welcomes you to the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum. Due to the unique nature of this attraction,
At your service. Perhaps you've seen my advertisement in the Gazette. Most affordable goods in all of Boston town, though. We'll talk about business later. Like all of you gathered here, I too am outraged about this new act enforced by Parliament. I'm a merchant here in Boston and have made my living selling wares from linen, shalloon, and broadcloth to rums, sugars, and chocolates. A particular favorite of my wife, Miss Elizabeth Hunt Palmer. Perhaps you've met her. Beauty in Watertown. Oh, I see you have. I can see it all over your face. Though I am but 23 years of age, I can still recall the effects of the Stamp Act. Of course, these towns and acts have had on our great city. But it's the merchants who are Boston's beating heart. Now this foul tea has come to our very docks by the East India Company. Vile serpent that will not rest until all of us honest merchants are without a means to support our wives and children. My dear Betsy and our newborn son Joseph are everything to me. Those greedy directors will not rest until they see us destitute. Which is why I've come here to the Old South Meeting House on this December 16, 1773 to make my voice heard. Why I encourage all of you to do the same. It would not have to be a body of the people if all of us were sitting on our hands merely listening. So if at any point tonight you find yourselves in agreement with what you hear, or perhaps you're in disagreement, or maybe you have no idea what is going on, but you want to join in all the noise around you, then I encourage you to stomp your feet on the floor like so. Give it a try, friend. Or just lay your hand on the fuse. Just remember, friends, when in doubt, it's something, not someone, Mr. Akins. Now, if you want to be more vocal in your approval, well, you could always let out a hear, hear! Hear! Or perhaps a well said! Well said! Thank you. I thought so myself. Now, if you're overwhelmed with enthusiasm, you can give a triumphant huzzah, which comes with an equally triumphant hand gesture. You shall ball up your fist like so. Reel it back. And then thrust it into the heavens and shout, huzzah! Huzzah! Oh, good. You've all been practicing. Fortunately, however, this here is a meeting about politics, parliament, taxes, and good. So there will be things you disagree with tonight. If that's the case, feel free to let out a boo. Boo. Or maybe a more serpentine hiss. Now, maybe come a point in time when we should use the most offensive word we have here in town. That word is fi. F-I-E comes with an equally offensive hand gesture. However, I do see we have some younger patriots with us tonight, and I'm a respectable man and a new father myself, so naturally, I'm going to teach it to you. Stick out your thumb like so. Place it upon your nose. Raise the flag. Wave the flag. Now point to whoever it is you wish to offend and say, "Fire!"
A good day to you all. We are gathered here today to discuss yet another crisis forced upon us by Parliament, supposedly on behalf of our monarch, King George III.
Now, out there in Boston Harbor are 3 ships, the Eleanor, the Dartmouth, and the Beaver. And their holds are bursting with 340 crates of East India Company tea. Under the law, each of these vessels has 20 days to unload its cargo and pay the duty, or tax, on tea. Tomorrow is the 20th day for the ship Dartmouth, making this body of the people all the more important. For this is your final chance to affect these events in our favor! Now, earlier this day it was requested that ship's owner, Francis Roach, obtain word from our esteemed Royal Governor, Thomas Hutchinson. A man who abandoned the cause of the people years ago. Yet he is the only one who can grant a pass to allow these vessels to return to England without landing their pernicious cargoes. Mr. Roach left several hours ago. We await his return and cling to the hope that the governor will listen to reason. For if that cargo is landed, it is you, the citizens of Boston, who will be forced to pay this unjust tax on tea. As we all know, this is not the first time Parliament has set forth taxes upon us without our consent. It was only 8 short years ago, in 1765, Lord Grenville saw fit to tax our letters, our newspapers, all of our printed documents under the Stamp Act. Many were outraged by the Stamp Act. Many set to the streets. And I am not the only one to be outspoken on these issues. Mr. Thomas Porter, what have you to say, my friend?
Parliament not only taxed our paper and ink, they even taxed our playing cards and dice.
We were told that these taxes were meant to repay our debts from the French and Indian War. A debt for which we have already paid 8,000 times. Now, Mr. Porter's anger has been echoed by others as well. James Brewer, I heard that your house needed new windows. But with the tax on glass, how did you manage to pay them?
I did not pay them! I was forced to choose between new windows and putting food in my family's belly!
In response to outrages such as these, merchants banded together to sign non-importation agreements. Stating that we can no longer buy or sell any of these unjustly taxed goods.
Here, here.
And many of the women in Boston, our Daughters of Liberty, joined in with non-consumption agreements, promising that these English goods would not enter their homes. It is by your united efforts, by your united resolves, that you forced many of these Townsend duties to be repealed. Of the English treasury, and their greedy eyes have turned to our tea. If Lord North wishes to enforce a 3 penny per pound tax on tea to signify the supremacy of Parliament and its supposed right to tax the colonies, well, then we have the right to demand representation, yes? Yeah! Magna Carta of 1215. Our Charter of 1691. These are the very founts of our British liberties, and they make it clear no British subject can be taxed without consent of their representatives. Well, if they expect us to pay taxes like Englishmen, to go to war and fight like Englishmen, then we deserve the same basic rights as Englishmen. Yes? Yeah! When he said that taxation without representation is tyranny, and the time for petition and compromise is over! Huzzah!
Yes, approach has returned. Oh, the governor's word is it.
Thank you. Let us see. Ha! It seems that the governor is willing to grant anything consistent with the laws and his duty to the king.
All right.
But orders that the vessels cannot leave unless the cargo is unloaded as the law demands. What say you all to this? You have it. Our governor refuses to send this tea back to England. I dare now say the time has come for you, the people of Boston, to decide what to do. Hear, hear? Hear! With that, I turn to you, Mr. Palmer. Yes, what do you think we should do with this detested tea, sir?
You're asking for my opinion.
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Well, if it was up to me, I think a little bit of salt water and tea should mix tonight. But what say all of you? Shall we destroy the king's tea?
What we have on our hands? Well, it is clear there is nothing more a meeting can do to save this country.
That's the signal, friends. Please rise, gather your belongings, don your disguises. We'll not be returning to Old South this night. We make our way to Griffin's Wharf. Huzzah!
Enjoy your treason, my friend.
Thank you.
So when I say dump the tea, you shall respond. Into the sea! Dump the tea! 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 Into the sea! Excellent, friends. Now, we are signed the boarding party of the ship Eleanor this night. Yes, the governor has refused once again to send the tea back to London. So we have all graciously volunteered to arrive here so late in the evening, and we'll dump it into the harbor.
Oh, how very charitable of you.
I know.
Well, welcome aboard. This is the Eleanor. She's got 114 crates of tea. Right this way. I'm sure we make quick work of it.
Excellent, friends. I'm going to put you in the very capable hands of Miss Brown. She's the daughter of William who can be trusted. I'll remain here as this board.
Welcome aboard. Congratulations, of course, on your first act of treason against the king. Very exciting. But I do want to make sure that we are all here for the same reason, so we didn't just get swept up in the excitement of joining a mob. So accidentally think we're heading down one of these Thomas parties again. So, if you are here to destroy the king's tea, say aye.
Aye.
If you are here to cast off that yoke of East India Company monopoly, say aye.
Aye.
And if you are here to be caught and arrested for treason, say aye.
Hi.
That's a no.
Boo is right. Thank you. I'm glad some people are listening. A little concerned about the amount of ayes I heard. Do any of you know what the punishment is if we're caught?
Death.
Yes, death. And some of you still said aye. That's even more concerning. But personally, I think we're more than capable of committing a crime and getting away with it. And if we get away with it, there is no punishment and we'll all be safe. So it's very important that we are aware of the dangers. Now, there is no army here tonight. They're stationed out on Castle Island. It's a fort in the harbor that they've been stuck at for the past 3 years ever since the massacre. They can't come ashore except when given strict orders by our governor. And our governor is a whole hour's ride away at his country estate in Milton. So I don't think that'll be too much trouble. That said, the Navy's in our And are we leaving the harbor tonight? No, we're staying right where we are, destroying the team, going home. So the real danger is one another. In the coming days and weeks, you might start talking about what you did, who you saw, and word will get back to the army, at which point they'll actually have time to come ashore and get us. So to make sure that that does not happen, I'm going to swear us all to an oath of secrecy. You raise your right hand and repeat after me. I swear.
I swear.
I was not there.
I was not there.
Yeah, that covers it. I trust you all. So that does bring us to the tea. Now I've hauled up 3 crates from below deck. They are our lightest crates. They only weigh about 100 pounds each, and we will need 3 of our strongest. our bravest, maybe 3 of our youngest or closest. Do we have any volunteers? Yes, wonderful. You right there, you can take this one. You in the check, you can take that one. And do we have a, would you like to? Excellent, yes, you can come forward and take the third one. Excellent, right down this way. Now, on the count of 3, you're going to throw these over the side, and the rest of us are going to give a mighty huzzah. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Huzzah!
Woo!
I think you're a tree will be into the harbor, never to be seen again. As long as we don't let them. That's 3 down. Only 111 left to go. Huzzah! Huzzah! We're now going to storm below deck. So when I say storm, I mean single file behind me down this set of stairs. Watch your step, use the handrail, and if you're taller than me, watch your head. As we say in Boston, it's safety first.
Treason second.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Palmer.
Oh, I love that too.
We know.
I was secure.
Quite aware. So don't mind the sailors, they promised to stay out of our way. Fine. No, just if you could go back to the left door. There you go. Excellent. We're going to stop right about here and wait for the rest of them to catch up. Now, those of you below decks, if you can hear me, say aye. Aye. Those of you still above decks, if you can hear me, say aye. Aye. If you cannot hear a word I'm saying, say aye. All right, I'll pretend to believe you. So, those of you coming down, welcome to the cargo hold. It does exactly what it sounds like, holds cargo. But most of the cargo has already been offloaded, as you can tell by the fact that we can fit quite a lot of you down here. See, most of the goods that would have been on board when she arrived have been unloaded over the past week or so. Those would be things that are not tea. Fine silks from India, tools for our trade from Prussia, wine for John Hancock from Portugal, sort of thing that's important to the Patriot cause. And so, men from the Sons of Liberty have made sure all of those goods have made their way off the boat, leaving only the tea. And the tea is helpfully labeled. Wrapped in white canvas, it's got a heart-shaped symbol on the side, like you can see above deck or down below. And most of the crates weigh about 400 pounds each. I don't know about you, but I can't lift that. So instead, we divide into teams. We get our strongest men below deck. You know, our stevedores, our blacksmiths, carpenters like my fiance. And they will use a block and tackle, a type of pulley system, to hoist the crates up above deck. Now, once they're above, that's when our weaker Sons of Liberty, you know, the doctors, the lawyers, Mr. Palmer, they'll be above deck with their hatchets. They're going to have to break open the crates, getting through the outer canvas layer, the wooden crate beneath, and then finally, for your health and safety, all of the tea is wrapped in a layer of lead. The lead keeps out the mildew, the pestilence. Should be fine. Now you're going to throw all the tea inside, over the side, and once the crate is empty, or at least light enough to lift, throw that over the side as well. And after 3.5 hours of this labor, we will have destroyed 46 tons of tea. That's about 10,000 pounds sterling in property damage, or in your time, about $1.5 million. Yes, more money than I shall ever see in my life. With all that work to get to, I'd say we better get to it. So, those of you on this side, you are going to lead the way into the captain's cabin, explore around. When you're done, make your way back above deck. Those of you on this side, you are going to make your way towards the forecastle. See how the sailors seat and then move around. That way everybody sees all parts of the ship, and we're all moving in the same general direction. Of course, once you're done, grab above deck, enjoy more tea, try your hand to feel, ask myself first to honor any questions you might have. There are no silly questions, just two silly people will It's Johnny.
I did.
It's right this way, friends. Excellent. Welcome back to Contact Friends. For those of you returning, I have secured us some more tea for dumping. However, we must follow these rules while we're up here. The first, both of your feet must be on the ground deck at all times. We're here to dump tea overboard, not people. The second, we will limit it to one volley per person until everyone has had their chance to commit crime. And lastly, once you dump your tea into the sea, bring it back up to the page behind you. Yes, I know it sounds counterproductive, but I promise you it's building character. Once you do that, you can explore the vessel from bow to stern. Ask any questions you like to myself or Miss Brown when she returns. Now, go forward, commit some crime. 3.
Okay.
Oh, welcome back to On Deck Friends. For those of you returning, we have a few rules. First, all gear is on the ground at all times. The second, is one volley per person. And lastly, once you dump your tea, however, one of your little friends, finish that one.
Till they cook.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent, friends. I've seen a crime. So those of you who have committed your treason or do not wish to do so can follow me back to the safety of Griffin's Wharf. Those of you left to commit your crimes must do so quickly. Time is of the essence. All ashore that's going ashore.
Take care. Try not to get arrested. Not bail money for any of you.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the back deck, friends. Feel free to explore while we wait for the rest of your boarding party. Just stay clear of the great beavers and smallpox. Yes, want to stay clear of the beavers. Yes, smallpox.
Так, перевозились продукты. Сахар, вино, лимоны, фрукты.
Now, we are located here in the original location of Griffin's Wharf. That would lie before you in this direction. Where the Intercontinental Hotel and Independence Wharf, that red brick building now stands. It would actually be to their rear. So if we were to throw tea overboard, well, we'd be throwing it into oncoming traffic. That's not nearly as fun as throwing it into the original body of water it was thrown into 249 years ago. Now, does anyone know the name of this long wharf here?
Long Wharf.
Yes, I know, it's quite a clever name. This is Long Wharf, the longest wharf in the city. It does still exist today. It's the wharf of most prominence because of its location. From here, it is a straight line to the State House, the seat of our colonial power. So anyone of any prominence, whether that be a new governor, a statesman, a merchant selling exotic goods, they would typically arrive to the city via Long Wharf for that convenience, rather than traveling up Boston Neck. Now, I know none of you asked, but yes, this is also where my warehouses are kept. I have 3 of them on Long Wharf. I know I'm a bit of a star in the community. I'm sure you've heard of me prior to today. Yes, of course, you wouldn't lie to me now. Now, over here, well, we have a very incriminating list of names. Now, I thought we all just swore an oath of secrecy. What happened? Well, if you're Mr. Wyeth, it is your bad. Yes, young Joshua Wyeth, one of our apprentices, would be the first one to reveal a list of names. However, he would wait 50 plus years before he would do so, and while at it, he also would title this event the Boston Tea Party. The name it is now given today. So if you find him, you can congratulate him. He steals most of the credit. Huzzah! Now, friends, the way forward has made itself available. As we move on, I must remind you all there is no more instant torture beyond these doors. So those funny devices you've been using to blackmail one another, those remain in your pockets. You can follow me.
Ага, I know. Также здесь есть, потом можно уже после самого представления перекусить. Много всяких вкусняшек. Можно выпить чаю. Вот там цены все. Вот такой прекрасный зал. Нельзя было посмотреть само шоу внутри музея, потому что вход в музей запрещен. Но кто когда-либо приедет в Бостон, обязательно нужно сходить на это представление, потому что это потрясающее место. Сейчас вам покажу магазинчик. Здесь можно купить специи, варенье. Шкатулочки на память. Ну и тут, конечно же, всегда можно купить какой-то шопер, да, сумочку на память. Может быть, я Арине, кстати, возьму игрушки, одежда, сувениры. Сэмюэл Адамс. Можно купить кукис, да, это печенье. Сувениры. Можно купить чай.
There's oh, there, you found some
Yeah,
tea. There's
I would
more
like
over,
to buy.
There's more over here too.
Yeah? Это, я так понимаю, нужно.
Actual.
Ага.
There you go. There's loose tea right there. There's loose tea, or there's like bag tea over here.
Угу.
I'm gonna go sit outside and find a park bench while you're here, okay?
Okay, thank you. Грин-ти. Очень много разных чаев. Сейчас я выберу себе чаечек какой-нибудь. Так, муж сказал, что там есть больше чаев. Сейчас посмотрим. Это для бутылок такие держатели.
Oh, it is. Looking all over and it's right in my face. I'm like, that's a box. Not wood.
Вот здесь еще всякие чаечки.
I would come on this side. As you saw, people come this way. Yeah. You get a little
Сервизы.
I don't know if I can actually wrap it. Actually, I think that's too much. I don't think I'll be able to get the tape around it. What if you take it around it? Yeah. Sorry.
Смотрите, какие классные. Мне вот такой понравился. На ключи повесить. Новогодние игрушки.